What's going on, growers, and welcome back for another video with your boy Donny Greens. This is going to be a very exciting video. We have a lot of stuff going on right now, including 8 new members to the family, 8 new Cayuga ducks. These are heavy layers, they're black ducks. In the beginning of the season, they even lay black eggs, and it's really awesome. You're going to be able to see those ducks today. It also led to a bit of an issue with the neighbors. The neighbors are not happy about this. And I also started working with a guy who helps other people with creating food forests. And I'm partially making this video for him so we can see the different areas of the property and know what we want to do with them. So not only will that be useful for him, but it'll also be useful for you guys to see how we're going about developing this property and turning it into a ton of food production, agroforestry, food forests, that type of stuff. So get ready to hear my plans for each section of the property, get to meet our new family members, our beautiful little ducks, and also see all the progress we've made, including this new duck pen. All right, let's head out our front door, which is technically a side door. I want to start at this part of the property because it's going to be the easiest to talk about. Very simple. I want to keep this all grass for the future kids, and I want to do a big grove of bamboo in the front to block the sound from the traffic, but also to be an amazing resource for the property in terms of like a building material and utility. And I think I want to do about a 6-foot wide trench down the whole front and have that be kind of like the border out there separating the property from the road. Then this will all stay grass pretty much. I think we're going to take down a few of these trees, at least these two, and then have a row of cherry trees down the whole side of the driveway on this side. And then we have a lot of work to do with the driveway, but that's another story. Cherry trees down the driveway over there is what we desire. Big open front yard, ready for tons of activities and playing. And then over here, I think this would be a good spot for bees. So doing a bunch of trimming up above so the bees can really see back into their hives when they're coming back home. And then I think we could do about 3 beehives in there. Now, from the corner of the door where we walked out over there, kind of like where the gutter is, or between the windows and the end of the wall, whatever, we're gonna bring another bamboo grove, a thinner bamboo grove. So this is only gonna be about 3 feet instead of 6 feet. And this is gonna come down the property and basically into this area right here where the bees are gonna go. And this is gonna separate the front big yard area. And then there's gonna be a fence behind the bamboo. And then this will be kind of like a side yard, technically like the front yard for like playing or just letting a dog out. We'll put a swing set in here, that type of thing. And this will be a different type of bamboo over here versus up there. I want a few different types. And we'll have to trench those into the ground and make sure that they don't spread like crazy, because Huntington has definitely banned bamboo. And I read their laws though. You just have to have the specific bamboo barrier in place so it doesn't spread, or have clumping bamboo. But the bamboo varieties that I want are not clumping, they are spreading. So I'm gonna have to trench them in. What else can I say about this area? Not much else is going on. There's a little bit of like a more shaded, like woodsy area. So when you look into here, it's kind of like shady. This beautiful magnolia tree has a bunch of blossoms in the beginning of the season. And I'm sure the kids will love to climb in there when they finally exist. But I mean, we got nephews and shit, nieces and nephews, so they'll enjoy it as well. Anyways, so we could do a tire swing, but in the back of the forest area, as far as like agriculture and food production, I want to have bins for insects, believe it or not. I want to raise black soldier flies and use them as a feed. The ducks are going to be able to eat those and any fish that we have in the future. So potentially black soldier fly production, and then also mushrooms. I think that would be a good place to do mushrooms. It's a little shadier, a little wetter, and we could do a bunch of mushroom production in there, whether it's on logs with the shiitakes or also in grow bags and just keep them wet. All right, then that's a little pathway that goes to the back of the house, but we're not gonna go that way. We're gonna head around this way. Need to make a lot more money so I could do a lot of these advancements, but this driveway definitely needs to get redone. We hate the pebbles. We need to fix it at the front. We're gonna make it wider and bring it out all the way to the side over here, and this will all be paved. Now, some of you might be thinking, why do you want to do so much pavement? on such a natural landscape and doing food production, wouldn't it be better to utilize it a little bit better than just a driveway? And my answer is, I love driveways. Driveways are smooth and they're a great place for kids to play, chalk, different games like Foursquare is Alyssa's favorite game, roller skates, skateboarding, bikes. We live on a busy road, so they can't just head out into the neighborhood on bikes and stuff. So this will be a great spot for it. And I think we'll have a big enough driveway to even put like a quarter pipe in here. I'm hoping my kids are gonna like skateboarding. I liked skateboarding a lot as a kid. So, you know, basketball, all sorts of stuff we could do from the driveway. So driveways are good. Not to mention, I could set up hydroponics on the driveway, right? Why not? Not to mention getting big deliveries, pallets of equipment and supplies. So I think a driveway is a good thing. Then we're gonna start fencing here. Fence, probably like a wooden fence painted white with then like an arbor that comes up, and then we're gonna put these roses over the arbor, and then the fence will go out to the property line and then shoot all the way down the property line over here. So let's come on over here. This, we want to do food production on the outskirts, but we like having this as a hangout area. It's close to the backyard. This is a great place for congregation, great place to have a speaker, great place for playing cornhole, yard games, can jam, whatever. So we like having this open. And then there's plenty of room in the beds on the outskirts to plant stuff. So in here, we want to do a lot of like medicinals and herbs and flowers. And then over there, similar thing probably, but we're honestly not even touching this yet. We're just letting it grow with whatever's been there, because we have to be really picky and choosy with our time and what we're using it for, especially when it comes to the property. So in here, we kind of just restarted the bed. We've been planting some veggies and stuff, but this is all just a work in progress rather. But we're starting to get zucchinis. We have our little squashes, our UFO white squashes. Parsley's looking good, cilantro, everything's looking awesome. The mustard went a little crazy. That's a little past due. Our strawberries have been amazing. They're delicious and we've been eating them. I couldn't wait much longer for the potatoes, so I had to dig down and see if there's potatoes in there. And we do have potatoes growing, so that's confirmed. Good vibes over there. Quick update in this video compared to the last video, because in the last video we were talking about the beds and how we screwed them up and how stuff wasn't really growing. And I think one of the biggest factors, by the way, thanks for everybody who commented. It was super useful. Thanks for, you know, helping me via some of your knowledge that you've learned over time. I've been able to learn a lot from it, and I really appreciate you guys helping me. So what I think is really going on, I'm not used to mulching, and I think the mulch is really holding the water way more than I thought. So I was over watering. I was watering every morning. Similar to the microgreens, I was kind of just coming out here doing my watering and then going inside and doing the watering for the microgreens. And I think that it was just way too much water. It's holding on to too much water in there. It's not drying out and getting that dry cycle. And the roots were kind of low on oxygen. So I just stopped watering, and now everything's kind of taken off. You can see like even the kale, like from here up, it's like more growth and tighter. And this is basically since I stopped watering. So I think it was definitely an over-watering issue, and also just still trying to nail the soil. Like I don't have the soil down yet. And I want to show you something really so cool. I don't know if the agriculture community knows about this or if this is actually working like I think, but these okra were getting attacked by aphids. And you can see all the aphids under here and the aphid eggs. But if you also notice, there's a bunch of ants crawling in here, and the ants are actually crawling underneath and sucking out the aphid eggs, and they're eating the aphid eggs. So my okra isn't dying. They actually look pretty decent. There's a little bit of damage and stuff, but I think the ants are actually going in and eating the aphids, so that's really cool. I don't know how well all my stuff will do, but whatever. But it looks like the green beans are coming back, and they're looking much healthier. I did fertilize a little bit, but I think it was really the watering thing. Lower watering is helping a big time. But we got squashes, zucchinis. Our carrots are looking awesome. I've never grown carrots, and I thought that they would be a lot more difficult, but I guess planting into fresh potting mix in your raised beds is probably gonna give them a good bet for growing healthy carrots. But we dug down a little bit in there, and we could see that the carrot's bulking up. So pretty cool. Let's see if we can get a view. Can you see that? Look at that. That's a freaking carrot. I've never grown a carrot before. Like, this is amazing. So our radishes are a bit overdue. When you open them up, they're not crunchy, they're kind of like mealy. And I think that's I don't know, just because they're overdue kinda, and maybe because they've been a little bit above the ground. We haven't been able to do too much work inside the pool area, been doing more work outside the pool area. And a big part of that was because of the ducks that we got. Weren't really expecting ducks, but we ended up adopting / inheriting them from a friend who had to get rid of them. So we have 8 ducks now, and we're gonna head towards that area a little bit. And this is becoming a new bed. We want this to be like perennials and gardening and stuff. I'm getting crazy deja vu right now. That's insane. Like hardcore deja vu. And that's when you know like you're on the right path, right? Like this is probably like a future memory thinking back or whatever the heck deja vu is. But I'm getting crazy deja vu right now about this bed and all the food we're producing in it. And like I can just feel in the future that we're gonna have so much more food coming out of this area specifically. I love deja vu, it's so trippy. Anyways, so we got the peas growing. We've been eating peas nonstop, eating them every day. And we got our peach tree looking nice. We had the arms weighted down with those bricks to kind of bring them down. And I thought that they had changed, and they did, but then when I took off the bricks, after a few days, they perked right back up. So that didn't work out too well. I should probably tie them back, but at this point, I'm just gonna let it go. This is our other peach tree looking awesome. Apple trees don't look as good back there, but this is one bed that we have to work with. And then we're keeping this grass. I like having some grass. I mean, we're on Long Island, right? We gotta have at least a little bit of grass. Now we're filling in this bed, and I was imagining a bed of asparagus down the whole way, but maybe we should do a little bit more biodiversity. But I do love asparagus, it's awesome. And then grapevines up this. Keep this as just a hangout with a fire pit. And then the fence that I talked about before is gonna come down here, and then it's gonna end right there, kind of like a chain link fence, and then it's gonna turn into a food forest fence. So this is gonna be the next food forest, and I think we're gonna get this going a lot sooner than we expected because of the whole duck situation, which we'll explain in a second. I hear the ducks right now. I think they're hungry at this point. Got up a little later than we had planned, but that's okay. And then I wanted to film, I was inspired. So this is gonna be a food forest area. It's pretty obvious to see the size of the area. Basically where we have wood chips, we're gonna be putting up a big fence similar to the pool fence, and this will be a food forest area. And the reason why we wanna get this going ASAP, oh, check out our tomatoes, looking awesome. They're definitely planted too close together, but it's a bit of an experiment. I think with my pruning, I'll be able to get them growing really well, even though they're pretty dense. And then we have this wire that we tied from tree to tree that I'll hang strings from, and the tomatoes will climb up the strings. All right, so back here, look at these mushrooms, yo. Monsters. We get monster mushrooms coming out of these wood chips. Radish is good today. See, there's no mealiness. They'll like get separated in the middle. By the way, guys, feel free to comment below. I'm still learning. I didn't even research this yet, but I guess I can just Google it. But anyways, the radishes were getting mealy in the middle, and they almost had like these open gaps where like they had spaces. But this one's good. It's nice and solid and crunchy. Yum. Radish and matcha. Good morning. This is my breakfast. The reason why we have to get this area started and going a lot quicker than we planned was because the neighbors back there are very unhappy about the ducks. And so we're gonna be making sure that this affects them as least as possible. We're trying to be as respectful as possible. But look, we're allowed to have animals on our property. The town code says we're allowed to have 8 ducks. So we have 8 ducks. But one of the things with ducks is they're waterfowl. So they like water. And we're already experiencing, we don't want to be dumping this kiddie pool every other day or whatever. It's gonna start making it swampy back there, smelly, and also it's just like a chore that I don't want to do. So what we are looking to do is, one, fence this in as a food forest, and then make a door over here that they can come out into the food forest. And then over here, I want to get a pond installed. So a nice, decent sized pond with a waterfall. That way the ducks can have a pond to go in that will always be there, that they can always go in. And then the waterfall will help to filter it. And then we could also pump that water out into the food forest for watering. And I could even pump that water out and do some hydroponics with it or whatever. Potentially, I gotta look into that and see if that's safe. But I think a natural waterfall and a pond will be a great way to kind of clean up the water a little bit and still give the ducks their pond to swim in without having to have the one in the coop. So that's what we're doing over here. So this is gonna become a food forest. Now that's it for the ducks and talking about that. we're gonna let them out in a second, but before we let them out, let's just show you the last part of the property that I wanna talk about today. Oh my gosh, you can hear them, they're going crazy. Hello, duckies. Hello. Can you hear them? Hello. Good morning. Yeah, they're hungry, so we'll make this snappy. All right. So I called my boy John Marcinka, and he has a landscaping company, and he's gonna come in and pull out all this stuff. So he's basically just gonna reset this land over here. We pulled out a bunch of stuff to put this coop in also, this area rather, not just the coop. And that's back there. So he's gonna take that pile out, take this pile out. There's a bunch of brush in there. He's gonna rip out all these vines, rip out the old fence. There's big piles over there that he's gonna rip out as well. And then this whole area is gonna get fenced in. So we're gonna continue fencing past that food forest on the property line and then shoot down the property line this way all the way to the tree. That way it's a little bit more private and it's a little less in their face. So I wasn't planning on putting up a fence or doing a pond anytime soon. The pond is gonna be super expensive and the fence won't be as bad. But we're gonna see how it goes and play it by ear and just try and make it all work. But it'll be great to have a fence actually separating the properties so we have a clear defining line and a little bit more privacy, you know? Maybe I wanna go skinny dipping in my pool and I don't really appreciate them being able to see into the pool area, you know what I'm saying? So blackberries are looking awesome, but this is all just gonna get reset. Everything beyond the blackberries, this whole line of just vines and BS, it's just gonna get yanked out and pulled out. And then we're gonna do a huge 40-foot by 20-foot Gothic greenhouse right here, either at the end of this season or now that I know what's going on, more likely the beginning of next season. And this will be a big greenhouse, further blocking the view and giving us some more area to do more food production. I want half the greenhouse to be kind of like natural and food foresty. That way we can get essentially into a better ag zone and grow, you know, like hopefully like some lemons. Like we would love to grow lemons and citrus in our greenhouse. We might have to heat the greenhouse, and that's something I'm totally open to. I think it's a great idea to be able to heat the greenhouse. I think that's a solid plan. So we want to be able to grow some more tropical varieties in a heated greenhouse here. And then the rest of the greenhouse on this side, do a little bit more food production and maybe getting into a tiny, tiny bit of market gardening for the customers that I already have, because I think that also just makes sense. So that's about it. You can see our mulberry over there. We have wrapped up with insect netting so the birds don't get it, because they've been stealing our berries right as they turn, and we want our mulberries this year. These mulberries are for us birds, all right? So we want our mulberries. Anyways, that's it for over here. Let's go let the ducks out, and you guys can see our beautiful little ladies that we just added to the fam. So we built this whole coop from scratch. Bought the wood and the screws and all that stuff, the hardware cloth. And we built this whole thing. This is the first thing me and Alyssa ever built, and we built this whole damn thing. How cool is that? We're pretty proud about it. And even my sister was blown away. So everybody's pretty proud about it and excited about the ducks, and it feels good. We feel like we did a good job, and I like being able to take care of these animals that we're gonna be losing their home. And we already love them so much, and I feel like I'm already so connected with the ducks. All right, after all, my name is Donald. All right, duckies. Good morning. Good morning. Six eggs. This is our new high score. Yesterday we got 5, the day before we got 5, day before we got 3, day before on day 1 we got 2. But this shows that they're definitely getting more comfortable and happier now that they've kind of realized what's going on, and they're starting to lay more. And even yesterday specifically, I noticed that the pack was a little looser. They weren't hanging out so tight together. They were loosening up a little bit and using more of the pen and hanging out here a little bit more, whereas in the past they were kind of hanging out more on that side. Anyway, let me go grab my knife really quick and the egg basket, and I'll be right back. Here we go. Hello, it's okay. It's okay. I know I came in a little hot there. All right, little babies. Come on out. Come on. Come on. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Yo. I thought I saw a black soldier fly. I don't know if it is though. All right, little babies. It's a hot one. Don't want to have to fill this thing up, but I think we have to. Do like a scoop and a half. All right. All right, girls, you got some food. Sorry, no sunflower microgreens today. That was a treat from yesterday. I know those sunflowers were good. Think that's far enough? Come on, eat. Yeah, see, they're hungry. Eight ducks, man. Guess this makes me a duck daddy. All right, so our plans for today, because we got some bad weather and also we were just tired because we built this coop in 4 days, this area in 4 days, and we really should have gave it 7. We had some wildfires from Canada that made their way to New York, the smoke, and that killed a few days. Rain killed a day or two, so we didn't get everything going in time. We still have to build their coop. I literally just built this thing out of like these mesh squares that were for pallet racking. So that has actually done a great job so far. But we have to build an official coop for them. And then also we need to put on a roof so no animals can get in here through the top. They climb up the side. So we did a good job animal proofing around the outskirts. We have hardware cloths so nothing can dig their way under. But now we got to put on the roof. So that's what we're doing today. We got these pieces of wood up here. They're going to go across. So 1, 2, 3. They're going to go across. And then we're going to put on, we're going to measure out the hardware cloth, 4 sections of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be up. And then once we have that hardware cloth on top, they're perfectly safe in here. We don't even need to put them in a coop at night if we didn't want to. So once that roof is on, we're good to go. But then after that roof is done, then we'll be building them a coop. So pretty cool, pretty exciting. I like the ducks and I'm excited for this project to be done. It was a lot of work, but it was also really cool and we learned a ton. Because every time you dive into something and learn something or do something new or try something new, you learn so much from it. So it's just fun building. We feel much more confident in our building abilities now, ready to build the next thing. or at least in a few weeks because we're tired, tired of building a little bit. But we gotta get this roof up and get a coop done. We're also switching. We're not gonna be using straw as the base for this. We're gonna switch to like these other shavings. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put shavings over where the ducks go to the bathroom. And over 2 to 3 months, that should build up into like a nice compost base. So we'll pull it out every 2 to 3 months and make compost with it. And then put that in our perennial gardens where we don't have to worry about, you know, disease getting on our annuals. So these ducks will definitely be playing a role on the property and providing a lot of good fertilizer. And every morning we're getting our eggs, which is also awesome. To be able to come into your backyard and grab some food, it's amazing. It's so weird, it's so exciting. It's something that most of us in society don't even get to experience, which is just so bizarre to me, how we got so far away from our food system. And although the microgreens are exciting to grow, there's something about getting eggs from these birds that's just a little bit more exciting and a little bit more exciting to eat, if I'm being honest too. I love the microgreens, don't get me wrong, they're super nutritious, but I mean, it's not an egg. So it's been really cool, and we're pumped about this. All right, they've got their water, they've got their bath, they've got their food. Now we're gonna confiscate their eggs. One egg. 2, 3, 4, that was a heavy one. 5, 6. One was out there. The other 5 are in the spot. And look at these little eggies. Pretty cool. We're not gonna be able to eat all these eggs, so we gotta start giving them to friends and family. Hopefully they'll be willing to pay a little bit for them, so that way it helps pay for the feed, I guess. All right, so that's it for now. We're just over here enjoying our lives, being bird mommies and daddies, and I think we're officially homesteaders. Does this mean we're like officially homesteaders? I mean, we're not getting a ton of production yet off this property, but hey, we're in our very early stages of homesteading. We got some animals now, which were totally unexpected. And we're really starting to get the food going. Like, we're planning and working, and it's all very exciting. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting me share my life with you. It's been a lot of fun to share. And I hope you guys follow along and see what's to come in the future. All right, until next time, take care, everybody.